So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Planets Through Nakshatra series of the week. And this week we're going to be covering our series of Venus in the Nakshatra of Sharavan. And what happens when Venus is in the sign of Capricorn, okay, but is sitting between 10 and 23 degrees of Capricorn zodiac sign, which is known as the Sharavan portion. So what happens when your particular Venus is sitting in this particular nakshatra, which is the lunar mansions, not the zodiac sun mansions. And as always, if you do not know where your Venus is placed, what nakshatra it's in, what sign it's in, all the other astrological details, for that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report, including my books, Astrology Conjunction Aspects and Mahadashas at the Speed of Light, including all my consultations at this link and the nakshatra reading at this link. So, remember, Venus mainly represents the spouse. Venus represents marriage, the meaning of marriage in your life. Venus represents your devotion. Or any woman that comes in your life, also it is said that Venus is sisters as well. Like if you have sisters, they're also seen through Venus. And Venus, represents arts, creativity, media, music, devotion, painting, beauty, fashion. So now Venus is in this section. So what does this do? Let's talk about that. So Sharavan, is a nakshatra that is activated by the moon. And Sharavan really shows the quality of you listening to something, listening to someone. Back in the Vedic times, Sharavan meant listening to the Guru. What is the Guru saying? The oral, the vibration of the Guru, whatever the mantra Guru gave you, whatever sloka Guru gave you as an astrology sloka, you listen to it and you retain it. Not by writing, not by watching the sloka, but just by closing your eyes and listening to the Guru. So this is why Sharavan is symbolized by the year. And Sharavan story is also related to Vishnu. And especially when this ignorant king captured, this huge land, Vishnu, I believe came as a child and said, I will only take the land which is of 3 steps. That's it. And the king was quite ignorant and said, 3 steps? How much land can you get with 3 steps? Sure, why don't you do it? So then that child transformed into Vishnu, like huge, probably thousands of feet up. And so he took 1 step, 2 step, 3 step, and pretty much conquered all of his kingdom. And this is especially because the king did not listen to the Guru. The Guru advised him, if some child comes to you, do not give them any way of taking control of your land. But king was like, 3 steps, whatever, I'll take it. So once you translate this, into the modern concept, first thing we see though with Venus being in a nakshatra, remember, Venus is not you. Venus mainly represents the spouse and the marriage, the meaning of marriage in your life. It can represent you in certain ways, where it could be the ascendant lord, the Atmakarka, the Arudha Lagna lord. So here, first of all, we see that the spouse will love to listen to things like listening to audiobooks, listening to mantras, listening to, especially in India, your spouse would be a Bhakt of Ram, like Sri Ram. Because the symbolism of this nakshatra is also connected to monkeys, the monkey god Hanuman, who was the devotee of Sri Ram. And especially what we see here is that your spouse, for them, things would take place with 3 steps. Like they will have a, 3 tries to get a job. They will get a 3-step promotion. And especially for them, the 3rd job that they get will be the one that conquers them, meaning like they conquer things, they achieve things. I have seen people whose spouse has had 3 companies under their name. And the first 2 are okay, the 3rd one is flourishing. And especially because it's symbolized by, the year of listening. And especially spouse is the type of person where they're inclined toward listening to people's problems. Like no matter what happens, somehow, some way people are attracted to giving their problems to your spouse or to you even. And you listen to their problem and then you advise them on that problem. Because remember, this is about listening and then counseling. But here's the thing. If you know the mythology that I just explained, when you listen to someone's problem and you advise them, they'll be quite ignorant towards your advice. And then what happens is they come back to you saying that, yeah, you told me to do this and I didn't, and this happened. Oh my God, please help me and I'll listen to you now. Your advice that you give this person will not humble them until after they ignore the advice and they come back to you, just like the king who got the advice from the guru. But vice versa happens. If, let's say, Venus is being impacted by malefic planets, spouse would be the type of person who may not listen to your advice or the advice of their mentors, advice of their teachers. And then they make a mistake. Even knowing that somebody advised them not to do that, they'll do it because they had that ego. And then they make that mistake, they lose that thing, they lose that deal, and they come back again as, yes, you're right. And what happens is this process humbles your spouse. It humbles them. So in a way, they are supposed to not listen to certain advice, and they're supposed to give advice to people, and those people will not listen to that advice the first time. Because of the fact there's a lesson to be learned about being humble. And especially one of the reasons why, this whole notion of not listening, and then making mistakes, and then realizing, what's wrong with them, because the caste of Sharavan is the outcast. They want to break the rules. They don't want to listen. They want to actually do things their own way. Like Rahu. Rahu does not want to listen to anybody. Rahu is like, okay, I'm just going to go here and do it. That's it. They do things in a very unorthodox way. At first, they make mistakes. They may make 3 mistakes in their life, and then they realize, no, I'm supposed to do this. So it's that the caste itself, the caste of the Nakshatra is very, very important to understand why this person is behaving in such a way. So are they warrior caste? Are they merchant caste? Are they butcher caste? Are they outcast? And especially if Venus is conjunct Ketu, receives the aspect of Jupiter, conjunct Jupiter, these people can actually listen to voices. They can hear voices beyond the plane of this existence. So, when people say, I've been hearing voices, or I've been getting messages, and I have a voice that tells me something. Sometimes that they may not be crazy. They could actually hear the voices beyond the plane, beyond the boundaries. And especially the meaning of Vishnu is also like breaking boundaries. And this is why, certain psychic people, even like certain astrologers, if they have Sharavan in their chart, they can look at a chart and they'll hear a voice beyond. This person has 3 marriages. This person, broke their leg when they were 6 years old because of this. And all they're doing is just saying what they're hearing. And then they become the most accurate astrologer in the world. Now, I'm not saying that every astrologer who has Sharavan in their birth chart or Navamsha chart will hear things and then they will guide you. But it shows that they have a great connection. It's like, look at this as a code, like a password or a code in a video game. So you can unlock some treasure, unlock some weapon. That's all nakshatras are. They kind of like open up that door to, and get the treasure box. So especially with Venus, if your spouse is very intuitive, if your spouse says, I had a dream and this person came and said this and this and this, and it came true, don't look at it as something bogus. Don't look at it as something that they're just, BSing you. It is actually, it most definitely could be a very, very true event in their life where they are hearing things beyond, because see, their radio frequency is so strong that they can, or their radio is so strong that they can catch the frequency beyond this 3rd dimension. You may not be able to, but they can. So this is why it's very important. This is why, if a spouse has this and the other spouse doesn't have this, and spouse says, well, I hear this, I heard the voice here. It's like, oh my God, my wife is going crazy or my husband's going crazy. God, they need to see a psychologist or psychiatrist. So if you have this, perhaps you might not want to just jump to conclusion and think that they're crazy. You might want to, look beyond just this rules of humankind about making conclusion and determination about certain things. This is why astrology helps, because once you understand why this person is that way, why is this person that way, you start to kind of like live with it. Like, hey, this is their code. This is their life. They're not me. I'm not them. Live your life. Hear more voices. See what they say. See what they do. Of course, sometimes it can be schizophrenia. It can be, some psychosis. But with Sharavan especially, most of the time they have the ability to hear things. Okay. So guys, this is my analysis of Venus in Sharavan Nakshatra. Obviously, once we cover the padhas and, once I cover the things like aspects, conjunction, which house this nakshatra is in, we can go even deeper and see like a lot of things that we just can't see right now with the basic concept. So if you're new to my channel, subscribe below. And if you don't know where your Venus is placed, all my books, reports, consultations, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.